homecoming and the salute to service game, which is Veterans Day weekend, that is New Mexico State, which that gets the stamp of approval for me for homecoming because I have been to, let's see, the number's got to be 5 or maybe 6 by now for homecoming games. The first Tennessee homecoming game I went to was the 2013 Auburn game because I think they probably scheduled that just thinking, Auburn's coming in off a 3-9 season. They're not going to be that good under Gus Malzahn. Well, guess what? They made it to the national championship. They ran for over 500 yards against Tennessee and won by 30 in that season. So, yeah, that game, that 2021 Georgia game that I was talking about earlier, that was also a homecoming game. That did not end well for Tennessee. I'm trying to think, who was it in 2022? Maybe, oh, no, it was UT Martin. Yeah, so UT Martin and then UConn the next 2 years. And then last year it was Mississippi State. But I want to say 2020. I mean, obviously 2020, you put an asterisk by everything. That was that awful Kentucky game that Tennessee lost 34-7 at home. Easily one of the we went through our top 5 favorite Tennessee games we've attended. I can give you probably my top 5 pity poll for Tennessee games that I've attended. That one I think is number 2, right? Well, I don't know because I was at 41-0 for Georgia as well. So that's either 2 or 3. Number 1 is still that Texas A&M game in 2020. And it's right up there with them. So my point in all this is for homecoming games, make sure you schedule somebody that is beatable.
Yeah, definitely not an SEC team, for sure. And you never want to lose on homecoming. I mean, that's just demoralizing. And I, not to get too off topic, but I remember in high school there was a small school somewhere in Clarksville that scheduled the high school I was at for homecoming, and I don't know why they did that. Ended up beating them by 40 points, I think, at halftime. And
I think I know what school you're talking about.
I think it was West Creek.
Yeah, because Brentwood played them too and beat up on them that season. They were not very good.
Yeah, so I mean.
Yeah, no. And you mentioned that too, and that's funny because Brentwood High School did something like that once upon a time. They scheduled it a state powerhouse here in Middle Tennessee, in Murfreesboro specifically. I think you know who I'm talking about probably.
Oakland?
They came in and steamrolled Brentwood on homecoming. But usually that's kind of the goal. Schedule a game that you think you can win, and that's what Tennessee is doing here. New Mexico State, there's no Diego Pavia, there's no Jerry Kill or any of those guys. Eli Stowers, they are not there anymore. Those guys are gone. New Mexico State is back to being the team that has only made it to, oh man, I'm going to have to refresh my memory here, 3 or 4 bowl games ever. They've not been to very many. Let me Google this, actually. I'm interested now.
Yeah, speaking of bowl games and stuff, I wonder what the record is now because I haven't looked up in a while. But I remember when I first started keeping up with football, Vanderbilt, I think, only had 3 bowl wins or something up until that point.
All right, so they have been to 5 ever. They went to the 1959 and 1960 Sun Bowls, assuming those are both in El Paso, which are not far from home. They have been to the 2017 Arizona Bowl, which broke a 57-year drought of bowl appearances. And then they went to back-to-back bowls in 22 and 23, the Quick Lane Bowl and the New Mexico Bowl. So that is Tennessee's homecoming opponent right there, none other than the New Mexico State Aggies.